I mean, haven't you ever died in a video game and like got like, oh god, I gotta go through, but you know exactly everywhere you screwed up. You know exactly all the right buttons to push. You know exactly the time it takes to get through everything, like unstopped. I imagine he'd probably breeze through that, and everyone think he was like some god.
I mean,
Like,
that's true, but I haven't lived multiple lifetimes, so I don't know. Like my memory from when I was 10. I don't remember anything when I was 10.
that's different. That's different though. Like you're talking about memory from 10 versus like, well, I guess it's not.
Welcome, fellow weebs and otakus, to the next episode of Anime Fix. We get your fix for all things anime. What's so funny?
It's your struggle. Your struggle.
I'm so tired.
Me too. Go ahead. Finish.
We also disappointed people with last week not having an episode too. And
Why is that?
And we're gonna disappoint people further now. So, welcome back to Anime Fix, where you get your fix for all things anime. I'm Chase.
And I'm Lance.
Hello, Lance.
Hello, Chase. So what happened last week?
We ran out of time because I didn't wake up on time. What happened this week, Lance?
I overslept. I did not wake up.
It's the first time for everything, bud.
I tell you, I was actually worried last night I was going to wake up because I have 15 minutes left in season 2, and I looked at the time and it was 12:30 a.m. and I was like, oh my god, I'm so past my bedtime. I need to go. You know what? I'll do it in the morning. So I went to sleep and I did not wake up. But
I went to bed around 12:30.
You did? You still beat me? Oh wow. Look at you, Mr. Responsible.
I'd say I went to bed the second time around 12:30 because Grayson kept kicking me in the face.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about this week?
The first 7 episodes of RE0 Season 2, because I had to work a lot this last week and the week before.
That's okay.
That is my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But there's a lot to talk about in those first 7 episodes, though.
There's a lot to talk about. I'm actually pulling up where
I stopped at.
Where you stopped at, so I don't give you any unnecessary spoilers.
You're good. I debated about watching the recap, but I didn't.
It's so good, dude. It's like
better than season 1.
Oh, it's definitely, there were some highs and lows. I thought there were moments where it was trying to be as good as season 1. And then there were moments where it definitely exceeded. So I don't think it's 100% banger, better than season 1.
Banger.
But I do think there are some highs and lows. There are some moments where it really exceeds.
All right, let's see. 1. Oh wait, go. No. Go back. Trying to look at all the episodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm all the way through 6, halfway through through 7. So let's just go up to the Maiden's Gospel.
Remind me what the Maiden's Gospel was?
So Maiden's Gospel, the very last thing I remember watching is...
Oh, okay.
Subaru being disemboweled with his guts hanging out on the floor.
Yeah, when he went back to the mansion. To the mansion.
And then I'm halfway through episode 7, which is Beatrice saved him, but don't know why. And then she's holding one of the handbook thing. But yeah, I've already ruined some stuff for myself because this was back in season 1, and I just kept reading on the wiki. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. So I know most things.
Okay.
But I haven't watched all of it yet. I know who Echidna is as well. Go ahead.
Echidna, which agreed.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, I think she's my favorite. You know, maybe this is by design of the show, but so far, I think she's my favorite.
Why do you think she's your favorite?
Just her overall personality and like what I really like. So each of the witches, you haven't had the tea party, but you know about the tea party, right?
Were they all around him?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So, like when they're all talking about like, or when she's explaining where each of their sins come from, like talks about wrath and how so angry that people. I'm trying to remember exactly how her speech goes, but like
I remember
wrath,
watching that wiki. I remember watching that wiki or reading that wiki, and like the things that they did to get their like
sin. You wouldn't
sin was
think.
actually good things,
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah, like
Except
being
Satella.
angry about the suffering of the world, and so getting and healing everybody. What was another one? Greed was like a seeker of knowledge, and that was her obsession. Oh, what was it? Oh God, yeah, I
Call me
don't
Chase.
remember. Huh?
You call me Chase.
Oh, speaking of God, throw back to the last time we talked about this. I think Puck is more of the god of this universe
Subaru.
than Subaru is.
I would agree. I would agree for that.
Seriously, like when I saw that, when I remembered how he was just decimating everything with snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
In season 1.
yeah, in season one. Anyway, I thought about that. I was like, I'm gonna bring that up last week, and I didn't because we didn't record. Yeah, but no. So I can't remember exactly, but yeah, you're right. Everything that the witches were like, what their sins were, was actually kind of a good thing, or at least not that bad.
Yep. Except Satella.
Which one's Satella? Is that
The
that's Envy?
main. Yeah, she's the main villain, main
One
like
who killed
witch,
her other witches.
because she's envy.
Yeah.
Gotta
Even
stick by
then,
the
though,
plot.
actually, I won't tell you why, but she's actually doesn't seem that bad either.
Doesn't seem that bad. What do you mean?
Well, you will meet her.
Oh, we'll meet her.
No,
Does she go crazy?
no, it's actually. I don't want to. I'm not gonna say too much, but like, it doesn't seem that bad.
Okay.
At least like
Sure.
her motivations are. What her motivations are. It's to us, the viewer, like seeing what she's done, did, and everything like that.
Done
It's
did.
bad, done did, but when you hear her, her little brief explanation, it's like, oh, you're not intending to be a bad person, but you are.
Oh, remember when you said last episode, so it was like 2 weeks ago, you said, "What's the point of going on?" in the very beginning.
Oh
How do you
yeah,
feel? How do you feel about Rem still being asleep?
uh, going up to episode 7. How do I feel?
Yeah.
It's getting
Originally, we were gonna plan on talking about Tokyo Ghoul if I couldn't finish, but Lance is so excited for RE0 that we are going to go through episode 7 because he
There's a
can't
lot
wait.
there's a lot though in episode 7. Honestly, this whole I felt like there was a lot more happening in a very smaller section. Like, but if you think about the story and where they're traveling to and how long they spend there, there's a lot happening in just this one area
Yeah, and then
of the
also
story.
in season 1, Subaru he does so many redos because he's still learning about his power and learning about how to do everything that it's really just like 5 or 10 days worth. It's just repeated over a course of many years.
Yeah. And you actually see that though. Do you feel like he's, and maybe this was me like imposing later on in the season, but do you feel like he's getting better at it? Do you feel like he's actually like going, okay, this is how I can get past this without needing to die?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that in like when he died the first time in season 2 with the disembowel thing. Before he started like trying to kill himself repeatedly to save Rem. But when he died with disembowel, he came back, and then Otto, is that his name? The person with the wagon?
The merchant, yeah.
Merchant. He sees Subaru talking out loud to himself about how to like overcome these situations. And I was like, why are you so calm? Like you should be more worried about is that her name Elizabeth?
Leah? Mealy?
No. Mealy.
Mealy.
Yeah, you should be more worried about Mealy. He's like, well, I've already done this once, so she'll be fine.
I was actually reading about that his that's actually one of his powers or his skills is the fact that for him the timeline is continuing, right? Yeah, like in his mind. So like, yeah, when he dies he goes back in time. Obviously he's not aging, right, in real time because his physical body is going back in time. His mind is still moving forward. Right?
Yeah, so he's getting older and older.
Yeah. So when he approaches problems, he's like, okay, so how did I? It's kind of like how if we were like, all right, so how did I go about this yesterday? All right, so this is what I did. All right, so I'm going to try this now. And but no one else is that way. So, which is cool.
I also read on the wiki about how his powers like kind of work, and I spoiled a lot for myself as well.
Oh, tell me, because I'm still unsure of how his powers work, other than where they came from.
Yeah. Well, did you finish the whole season 2?
I have 15 minutes left.
Oh, I don't know if they tell anything in 15 minutes, but from what I read, obviously, like you said, his body doesn't go back in time. Only his mind goes back in time, but it's not the same timeline. Every time that he goes back, that timeline keeps going on without Subaru, and with all the stuff that happens, he just goes back to another reality or a different timeline. So all the times that he dies in the new timeline. Okay,
so they didn't act. At least I don't remember them calling it out that way. But in the trials, right?
Yeah.
When he goes through the second trial, whereas he has to experience an unlikely
second trial.
Huh?
He does another trial? I've only seen the first trial.
You know how many trials there are?
3.
Okay. Yeah, he does start the second trial. I don't know. I don't think he... Well, yeah, so he goes in because he's trying to get to Echidna. And the second trial starts.
Okay.
I don't know if he technically finishes it because he gets transported to the witch's tea party.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's an unlikely present is a second trial, right? And so he is reliving the following moments of each of his deaths and seeing what happened. And like that. So like when kind of like where he stabs himself to go back and save Rem.
Yeah.
You see that one night and Mealy and Felix all standing over him. How did this happen? Why did he do this? And being mad, like mad and angry and worried and sad and everything like that, trying to heal him. You see the kind of the conversation that happens after he jumps off the cliff. The first time when he's like, "I'm going to use my death back."
So you see those timelines then, like afterwards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
So the way it was, it's like unlikely present. Like it was kind of like when I saw it, I thought, "Oh, this is just a manifestation of a possible reality," right? It didn't occur to me that he was actually seeing the an alternate reality of when those things happened.
Do you know how many alternate timelines and realities he has made by killing himself or like by dying? That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's a weird concept, because to him it's not that.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of people that he's befriended who are just probably miserable, or sad, or just trying to get through life because they're like, how could Subaru Natsuki do this to himself?
You know what's crazy too? Like, what happened? What's going to happen if at the end of this whole series, if he dies one more time before the very end, gets transported back to that apple stand. Gotta do it all over again.
You know,
he's gonna remember all that.
I think so. I mean, come on. Have you ever? Because he references video games a lot when he's doing this, because he approaches it like video save point and all that stuff. And I mean, haven't you ever died in a video game and like got, oh god, I gotta go through? But you know exactly everywhere you screwed up. You know exactly all the right buttons to push. You know exactly the time it takes to get through everything, like unstopped. I imagine he probably breezed through that, and everyone think he was like some god.
I mean, I mean that's true, but I haven't lived multiple lifetimes, so I don't know. Like my memory from when I was 10, I don't remember anything when I was 10.
That's different. That's different though. Like you're talking about memory from 10 versus like, well, I guess it's not different.
I don't remember my memory from 20.
That's fair.
If I had to tell you my existence as a 20-year-old for the whole year, or like just little snippets of it, important stuff, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many lifetimes that he has been through.
So also the thing about memories is that memories isn't like a hard drive, right? You're not recording your life and you're trying to like call it back.
I wish it was.
I don't know if you do, because you might remember some things that you're like, oh my god, and just have this perpetual, just like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe that happened. But
I can't believe you've done this.
But memories are, again, super like boring, and also trying to remember all the details I've read about it. But it's about impact. So how impactful the memory is, causes your brain to remember it more. Right, so
dying for sure.
So dying for sure. So like, yeah, so that's why you can probably remember significant. You probably remember your son's birth, right? Yeah. That was a significant part of your life. You told me the story about how when you first met your wife, right? Yeah. That was a significant memory in your life. That's why you're able to. But that was in your early 20s. It's about how significant the memory is that you're likely to remember. It's not about just remembering. So. His constant death, his constant, experiencing the loss of his close friends. Which, by the way, the fact that they're like, don't act like you know me, but he actually does know them because he's gone through years of just encountering different aspects of their personality. But like, for him, experiencing when they die, imagine that he probably won't remember much about his old life with his parents, and his friends in school and everything like that. But he probably will remember this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Significantly. But the ending are kind of the big reveal
of season 2.
Of season 2. You
gonna tell me?
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay. I didn't know where you're going with it.
No, I definitely need to go back and read some more. Because there's some big drops that I'm sort of amazed by.
Like what?
I'm also. I'm not going to tell you.
I know.
This is going to be an episode of me talking about all the things coming without talking about all the things coming.
I'm a real good listener.
I know you are.
I listen well.
Yeah, there's so much going on. Like, I think maybe the manga does this better. But I feel like there's a lot going on. And I'm either I'm just missing key details that are just kind of like throwaway comments that like tie it all together. There's a lot, and I'm like, how did that happen? Why is this happening? What's your motivation again? Because this thing, what you're in right now, is going to get so much more complex and convoluted than I anticipated.
Perfect.
Yeah. And you're gonna see some badass moments. I better stop talking because
you're good. You wanted to talk about this. We could have talked about Tokyo Ghoul.
We could have talked about Tokyo Ghoul, but honestly,
how's this? As soon as I finish season 2, which will be probably before Wednesday, we can do a makeup episode, and just release 2 episodes this week to finish out the season 2. That since we missed last week.
So you want to do like middle of the week finishing?
Yeah, I'll probably finish RE0 before Wednesday, I would say, because I'm off Tuesday.
Okay. Then you want to talk about Tokyo Ghoul next week?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. That way, we don't have to watch anything else.
Yeah, I am cool with that because I have been it's starting to become a job.
I mean, yeah, I totally
agree. Like a part-time job to like watch it. And
I think for the holidays, since I'm super busy, and then I'm assuming you're pretty busy as well. We should stick to movies for the time being, since they're only 2 hours.
So, something I can on a Saturday morning just watch real quick. You're like, okay,
exactly.
Cool, that was fun.
just until we die down a little bit. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I
was going to suggest that too. So,
by the way, once we settled down and everything, I did get the 5 centimeters per second manga. I got the whole thing. So I'm going to be reading that in my spare time, but you should also get it, or I'll let you borrow the manga so you can read it.
No, that's fine. Well, no, I got to read, so I'm not allowed to buy. I'm not allowed to buy any more manga until I finish all of Silent Voice because I spent over $100 on the box set.
It's totally worth it though.
Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna look forward. Totally looking forward to it. Now you said you bought 5 centimeters per second, but there's actually one more movie.
Really?
I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm assuming we're done talking about RE0 now, right? So that's first 7 episodes.
You didn't make it very far, so
hey, I know this. Okay, that's why we're gonna do a midweek episode. Stay tuned.
Real quick, real quick, and a quick synopsis. I don't think we talked about, not in any detail. What was your experience like in the first 7 episodes? Like, what was your takeaway? What did you learn? What did?
It didn't have as much of an impact as the first season in the first 7 episodes, but it's definitely fleshing out the story more, and I'm understanding more about it. Obviously, I understand a lot now because I read a lot of the spoilers, but yes, I still like it. It's getting easier every time he dies for me. It's not as cringy or like anxiety driven, so it's getting better because he doesn't die as often anymore because he's learned a lot of how not to die.
Yeah, he's starting to become one of my favorite characters. But it's funny, the main protagonist was kind of the worst part of season 1.
Bro, so bad. I hated Subaru the first episode. The first season, he was so whiny. I hated him. Like, I get it, your mental health taking a toll, but like, man, stop whining about it.
Oh yeah, of course. Why can't you just die like a man and then repeat history over and over again and just deal with it?
Yeah, exactly.
But he's definitely in season 2. He's starting to become very likable, and like I feel like as I'm liking him, the other characters are liking him more too.
Yeah, they aren't getting as mad at him in season 2 and season 1.
This is not really a spoiler, but it's a comment that's going to be said in a later episode. When people ask, like, why do you side with Subaru or go with Subaru on things? Because they're like, he's weak. He's not very capable. He can't fight, can't do all this stuff. And you know what they say?
What?
His conviction of timing.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
He's never wrong. And I trust that with my life. And it's like,
that's true. That's so true.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong for believing in that.
That's true. That's right. So let's see here. 5 centimeters per second, but there's one more book, I thought.
Book's gonna be a little hard. Well, not harder, but like we're just gonna have to plan it out more.
Hold on, I'm pulling up Wikipedia right now, seeing all the films he did.
Who, Shinkai?
Yeah, because I can't read Japanese.
do you like Shinkai or Miyazaki more for anime movies?
Actually, I have an anime sin to share with you about that question.
Okay.
So, remember what I was telling you about my friend's girlfriend and how she's really big into anime, and I was talking to her about the podcast and what we were doing, and she's down to be a guest.
Nice.
She asked me, "What's your favorite Miyazaki film?" And
you couldn't say.
No. So what she asked me was, "What's my favorite Miyazaki film?" And what I heard was, "What's my favorite Shinkai film?"
Oh, that's what you heard? They sound so similar, Lance.
So I answered Garden of Words, and she didn't say anything to me, and so I was like, I went on about my day until I looked over at the book for Garden of Words that I have on my nightstand, and I saw the name Shinkai, and I said, "Oh shit!" So.
Did she say anything about that?
No, she never called me out for it. So,
does she know Garden of Words is not by Miyazaki?
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does.
I'm sure
because we were talking about like Your Name, Weathering with You, Silent Voice. Oh, not Silent Voice, but like Weathering with You, Your Name. And so when I said Garden of Words, I'm sure she knew that she probably just let me go with a warning because.
I mean, you're a co-host of an anime podcast.
Listen.
You should know who makes what.
So
you really could have picked any Studio Ghibli film.
I know,
You'd be fine. You would have been fine.
If she had said, and I think that's what happened, because if she had said Studio Ghibli film, I would have known. I would have like honed in on any one of the great movies that they've made. Which, by the way, I'm gonna say, I think
we can go through a lot of those. By the way, in the short
time. So I'm drawing nothing else. I'm drawing a blank because there's so many. I think I'm gonna say Spirited Away.
I've never seen. I've only seen Kiki's Delivery Service, but only when I was like 9. So I haven't seen really any of them.
I watched Kiki's Delivery Service before your Halloween party.
That's right, because you came as them, right?
Kiki and Tombo.
Tombo.
Spirited Away is really good. That's the one that's most impactful. I want to say Howl's Moving Castle was great, but also I feel like a lot of people, and also Tori said that was her favorite, so I'm like, I don't want to be like everybody else.
The jacket all over again, Lance.
But they're all so good. But yeah, I think Spirited Away is definitely a very impactful one.
So you haven't answered my question. Shinkai or Miyazaki?
Oh, Shinkai.
I do too, bro. Shinkai's so good.
Yeah.
But I can't say that because I haven't really seen many Miyazaki films, or just 1.5, because I haven't really remember it.
We actually own a whole bunch, and because those were some kind of when after I met Tori and we started watching more anime.
Mm-hmm.
We were going through a bunch of Studio Ghibli films. So I've seen a few. They're very it's. They're both so good, but yeah, I really like Shinkai more of what I've seen.
One of our friends that we game with, that we both know, they commented about our podcast, and they really like it, by the way. So I'll let you know.
Oh, cool. I'm glad. Which episode did they start on?
They listened to Death Note and RE0 on their way to and from work.
Oh, awesome.
The recent ones.
So Tori's parents listened to the podcast.
You told me that, yeah.
They started with because
they started with theirs, with Tori's. What do you think about that?
And they're like, "This isn't for us.
This isn't for us." They probably got like 5 minutes in. This isn't for us.
That's not, it's such a good anime, but also probably if you're new, I imagine if you're new to anime,
don't listen to that one.
Yeah, I think Monica Magic is like the not worst, but not a good one to start on because there's a lot of.
I also don't hold back on that episode. I don't think.
No, you didn't hold back on that one. No,
I don't think
it was super fresh in your mind. Oh, by the way, Someone's Gaze. There's actually two.
Who's gazing?
I don't know, but it's 2 films that came out. There's actually 2 that came out before Garden of Words and after 5 centimeters per second. Children Who Chase Lost Voices and
Oh,
Someone's
that
Game.
one. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. I just looked that up, and it said
So,
top 5 best Shinkai films.
so technically, if we're going to be watching these in backwards in the timeline, we should do those two.
Are we going to be able to find those, though? That was the problem. I couldn't find 5 centimeters per second. Like, where to watch it at?
Well, we'll do it. We will do our best.
You'll watch the movie. I'll read the manga.
We'll talk about the differences.
I don't know. That's a lot. Like that book is thick, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it.
What else are we going to talk about? Is there anything else we have to talk about RE0?
I don't think so. It's only 7 episodes, so.
Real quick, I shared an anime sin. Do you have any anime sins?
Never watched Cowboy Bebop.
I know that's really popular. I haven't watched it yet either.
We're both good on that one. Well, because the new Netflix series is out with Cowboy Bebop, so people were asking me about it.
People are really excited about the live action, which hearing your reaction to their excitement for the live action is kind of funny because like it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it wasn't that bad. I don't know if I have any other anime sins. I don't think so.
Our guest on the our guest star on the podcast, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking the other day. He started watching One Piece.
Oh goodness, it's gonna take him forever, man. It's almost in the thousands.
He's 50 episodes. I think exactly 1,000 episodes, and he's 50 episodes. Yeah, that's what he said. Well, yeah, and he is 50 episodes in and absolutely loving it.
I mean, I started One Piece, got to episode like 5 or 6, and I stopped it because I wasn't moving fast enough for me. But I get it. I mean, it's very very exciting stuff.
I started Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah.
And I had to stop, not because it wasn't good. I really like it, but it's so heavy. Like I thought this was going to be like I knew the premise of the story. I was like, oh, this is going to be a casual kind of fun.
What? It's not at all.
No, it's not. I thought I don't know what I thought, but
I don't know what you thought either.
But I started watching, and like the first episode, I was like, "Oh my god, I need to like take 10 minutes to myself."
So, how many episodes have you watched so far? Because I'm on season 3, I think, of Attack on Titan.
Oh, I haven't even passed season 1 yet.
Okay.
Right now, I am. I'm the episode after Eren dies.
Oh, you're not far at all.
No, not far at all.
Gotcha.
By the way, is it the same voice actor as Kirito from SAO?
I don't know. There's a lot of the same voice. Are you meaning English?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, even then, also the character model. They look similar to me.
Bro, all the character models for anime look similar. Kirito, you see Kirito and Eren Yeager.
Yeah.
You smell like a baka. Eren Yeager. Yeah, same guy. Bryce Papenbrook voices Eren Yeager.
I thought I recognized that ridiculous battle cry before.
Yeah, that's for sure. Same battle cry. Do you know the voice actor for Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z?
Is it Robert McCollum?
No.
No, I don't know the voice. It's
It's Psycho-Pass, right? Yeah. No, it's Chris Sabat, but he's also the voice of All Might and the voice of like countless other animes as well.
How'd you know that was from Psycho-Pass?
Because that's all you thought. That's all you think about is Psycho-Pass. That's the only thing you're obsessed with is Psycho-Pass. I should have never showed you Psycho-Pass.
I'm so glad you did. I know. I'm so happy.
I know. We have yet to talk about my favorite anime, by the way.
Which is?
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you mean that popcorn anime that everyone knows about?
Why you gotta do this to me? Why you gotta ruin my life like this?
You know, since we're talking about watching more movies, just
There are
to
a lot
take
of movies.
you should watch the live action Dragon
No,
Ball.
I'm not. No, nope. It's on anime. It's a live action movie. Not doing it. Mm-mm. Go to hell. No, I'm not doing it. But there are a lot of Dragon Ball Z and movies that we could watch. But I don't know if you'll understand it because you haven't watched the series. So
That's why I said the live action because they got to appeal to a broader audience.
stop bringing up the live action, Lance. Anything else you want to talk about before we end? Because it's getting close to that time. This is a shorter. This is a shorter episode. Mostly because I've only watched up to episode 7, but also because we ran out a little bit of time. Because I was late last week. Lance was late this week, which I'm proud of myself for beating Lance this time, though.
Good for you. You want a cookie?
Thank you. I do want a cookie. Please give me a cookie. No, I have these cat temptation treats. I'm good.
All right, so we're gonna do a midweek makeup episode to finish out the season.
Yes, I will definitely get through it by Wednesday. Because I'll be off on Tuesday, and I have some time afterwards today to watch a lot of it as well. So
Okay, cool.
We'll catch you midweek. This episode should go up later tonight, I would say.
You're not gonna know that it was later tonight because they're not listening to it live, Chase.
But when I post it, they'll listen to the end of this episode and be like, that makes sense. So in your face, Lance.
Bye.